So we've been talking about Texas Governor Greg Abbott being in the spotlight today with this razor wire still going up along the border, even with the Supreme Court saying it can be removed. He's been making the case, Abbott, that Texas has the legal authority to defend itself against illegal immigration. And now, as we've been reporting, he's drawing support from governors from more than half the country and also from a number of Republican lawmakers, including Congressman Mark Alford, who's a Republican out of Missouri, and the congressman joins us right now. So thank you, sir, for coming on. We started to have this discussion with an advocate named Jenny Murray in our last block there before you came on. And this idea, I just want to start here, and maybe you have a different perspective or on it, that whatever you think of an issue, in immigration law, the federal law would supersede the local law. So with this whole debate over razor wire, doesn't that apply here as well? How do you see it?
Well, look, I firmly believe in states' rights, particularly under the Constitution, the right of the state to defend itself against invasion if the U.S. is not going to do anything about it. And under the Biden administration, the U.S. is not doing anything to stop this invasion. We've had more than 8.5 million illegal aliens into our country.
Can I stop you for one second? Because I want to clarify.
Bringing with them human sex
I want to talk about something on the invasion part, because I was reading about that earlier. Yeah. So when that was written into the Constitution, do you think this is what was being considered? Because the way I was reading it, if you go back, they were thinking about if the country, the young country at that point, was maybe under some sort of a foreign invasion and the federal forces couldn't get there in time. In other words, you'd have some kind of a local militia ready. But that's not, I mean, that's not the case here.
Colin.
It's not.
Colin, let me tell you.
Well, first of all, it's Connell.
It's the congressman.
Well, hold on a second, Congressman, hold on. First of all, it's Connell, and second of all,
I'm sorry, Connell.
That's fine. But I'm just asking the question. That's not what they were using that for at the time, or how they intended it, is it?
That's the beauty of the Constitution. Our founding fathers had no idea that this bumbling, feckless, failing excuse for a president would be in office and not defend our borders against an invasion. That's exactly what's happening. Governor Abbott's the only person with a cojones in this fight who's willing to do anything about it. Our Governor Mike Parson has signed on to be supportive, as you said, more than I think 30 governors now. This is a states' rights issue. And if this president and this sorry excuse for Homeland Security Secretary, who's the biggest liar since Pinocchio, is not going to save America by shutting down our border, securing our border, then Texas must do it.
So we're just trying to, like, what we try to do here, we try to have, kind of discussions on these issues and go back and forth. So, all the stuff about, feckless, all that kind of stuff. If we really talk that way, I don't see the point of it. I don't think it's becoming of a member of Congress either to talk that way. So, if that's the kind of conversation we're going to have, I'm not really interested in, we'll just move on. But we're having a conversation about the issues on immigration. And if you look at what the president's done, there's plenty of reasons to criticize what he's done, right? I'm asking specifically about an issue that's happening right now and how the law and the Constitution apply to it. Because now you have 25 states, you have literally like half the country lined up in a very, very divisive issue. And if you don't talk about it precisely or accurately, then you're just not giving people the information to make the right decision on it. So, again, where is no, go ahead. So let's look at what?
Let's look at the Supreme Court decision from this week.
Exactly. That's what I'm asking
decision.
About. Right.
All right. A 5-4 decision. I'm sorry. Let me calm down. Look. There are a lot of people in this country who are ticked off because the border is not secure. That's all we're asking.
Understood.
And I will do it in a calm, reasonable, rational manner, but we must secure the border, okay?
Right.
The Supreme Court ruled 5-4 that the Border Patrol can cut the concertina wire.
Yes.
I don't think there was anything in there that prohibited the Texas National Guard, the Texas Department of Public Safety, those really trying to deter and deflect illegal immigrants from coming into our nation and, in my viewpoint, invading our nation. I don't think there's anything prohibiting them, unless there's something I'm not reading, from the Texas National Guard.
So you're saying they can keep putting up the wire,
right? Efforts.
Right. No, that's fair. So you're saying they can keep putting up the wire. The issue is that the feds can come in and take it down. Thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.